the ancient powers. The
From
Eldritch.
the Blue Lotus.
That's right. Hey, come on. What are you, a cop? We're live on the internet. Dude.
Blue Lotus is a type of tea.
You can't. It's a plant. It's an illegal plant. You can't.
Blue Lotus could literally be a brand name for anything.
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't have to.
That's right. It's a massage parlor. It's a Blue Lotus happy ending massage parlor.
Could just be like a car, like a Blue Lotus.
Yeah.
Well, now that I've like narked on myself, I feel like I was entrapped. I feel like that would not hold up in a court of law. You tricked me into admitting to committing a crime.
I'm actually really good at that. I'm a professional tricker, mischief maker,
Entrapster,
entrapmentster smith,
mischief maker. The Capcom 90, well, I don't know, 8 N64 game, Mischief Makers. Kevin Serena Byers. Welcome to the show. Was that her name? I'm pretty sure the main character of Mischief Makers was Serena.
I will have to take your word for it. I have never heard of this game before.
You might remember such quotes as "Shake, shake, shake, shake." Brandon Lynch, tell me your favorite Mischief Makers moment.
I have never even heard of this show.
If you, it's a game. It's a Capcom game. If you look up a picture of the box, you will for sure recognize the box art.
Okay.
It was a 2D platformer.
I'm not going to do that because my laptop might explode.
Yeah, fair enough. It was a 2D platformer where, man, what I'm unlocking memories as I'm talking about this. Welcome to the show, by the way, Talking Reckless Video Game Podcast. My name's Matt Eads. Thanks for joining us. Brandon Lynch, Kevin Byer here. It's a 2D platformer where, like, all the blocks had these like forlorn faces on them. These like, you know how Thwomp has a face on it? It was like that, except they were all in anguish,
Like
it
different
looked like.
moods?
No,
Okay.
they were just all sad.
All upset.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could grab onto them, and you could shake them for like different effects. You could sort of use them to jump from one to another, I remember. You would get different colored gems for some reason.
You're making this up.
No, this was... I owned and played the shit out of this game.
I believe the person's name is Marina.
Is it Marina? Damn.
That's the first thing that showed up under Google in like related searches. Also, Fursuit showed up as number 2.
Fuck yeah. Now we're
So
talking.
it seems to be that this game is very big with the furry community.
Yeah. Yiffing, we call that. I don't actually know what I think. All right, put a pin in that for a second. I need to finish my Mischief Maker's thought. Published by Enix, not even by Square. Released in '97. Yeah, it wasn't launched, but it was right around there. I should play this game again. Wow. The game has 5 worlds with roughly 12 levels apiece, which is a lot. Some levels are action only, while others include puzzles. Wild.
Game was ahead of its time.
Wild.
Puzzles and action?
In 97?
You saying Mischief Makers totally like unlocked a key memory. Just like, whoa. It was not Capcom, by the way, Square. Or Enix, apparently. Hi, welcome to the show. Welcome to Talking Reckless Video Game Podcast. My name's Matt. That's Kevin's mouse that you hear. I'm on to you.
Oh, I did pick it up. You're right, I did.
Yep, I told you. Here to talk about all things not illicit drugs or Loki, because that's in Tron. Tune into the longer version of this show on patreon.com/talkingrecklesspodcast or weebs.ca to hear our thoughts on Marvel's Loki, episodes 1 through 3. And thoughts, capital T, they are. Brandon Lynch, I might pay $5. No. What have you guys been doing? The segue... The what do they call it? The unmakeable segue. It's like the knot that you can never untie.
I feel like the unmakeable segue is the one where you're talking about someone dying and then have to get back on the rails.
Or like, as too often.
Now, as much as this conversation, as much as this conversation has felt like dying,
we're vaxxed. I'm vaxxed. You're vaxxed. Kevin's gonna be vaxxed by this time next week.
Next Friday. Yeah, exactly next week.
And man, we're gonna be through it. I'm so excited. It is just giving me an energy. I was walking today. Did you guys know the birds are still out there? Like, It's pretty much as we left it. There's
You
still
gotta
believe
remember. You gotta remember, Eads. My life almost did not change at all when this
It must have
happened.
been Brando kept care of the outdoors. Everything
That's
is
true.
pretty much as I remember.
I
filled the
imagine
feeders.
I'm gonna go outside and like the roads are gonna be disintegrating and worn down and broken, and then nobody's gonna be driving anymore.
Power lines.
I was
just
the only
sparking
one using
across
them.
the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
exciting.
no, I was out on White Ave today, and it was fucking bumping.
Yeah, I saw people at the bar by my place on the patio, and had a real like, man, I should just fucking go up. They're playing cornhole. I bet I could just be like, hey, I got next. I could just go. It'd be fine. I just go up there.
You gotta wait your 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I'm only a few days.
Tuesday's the big day for me.
You're just going out. That's when you're kissing everybody. Line up,
I'm
ladies,
just
because the lynch lifts are open for business.
Just licking like doorknobs and fucking the pavement.
Toilet handles.
I mean, let's not go too far here.
Yeah.
It didn't really do too much to me. I was a little bit sore like the day out. It was like the first day I was fine. Second day I was a little sore and just tired. Holy smokes. Slept like 15 hours a day for like 3 days straight. And now I feel great.
Fucking A.
It was a lot of sleep. It was a lot of sleep.
Yeah, I don't know. My shot didn't do fuck all to me. Neither of them did.
Yeah.
I didn't feel a fucking thing, which honestly made me think maybe the guy just missed my arm.
Yeah,
Who fucking
missed
knows?
the vein.
You got the saline dose.
No,
You're the control.
You're part of the control group.
that's right.
We're getting there. And that means hopefully within, I'm not going to put a time on it, but hopefully soon we should be back in a real live studio within eyesight of one another. Live eyesight. As
God,
good as
I don't even know. I don't even know how to get to Kev's anymore.
I don't know, like,
I'm gonna have to punch that into the GPS.
yeah. I sort of forgot the nuance of. I mean, I never had a firm handle on it, but like, I don't know how to bullshit with like cashiers or anything anymore. Like, hey, how you doing? Good.
Yeah, I went in for a haircut 4 days ago now or so, and it truly like it's like operating on a different part of your brain that has like got out of shape because of just way less social interaction. Like it's just the most forced. And I mean, conversations with the hairdresser. I'm writing that book right now as we speak. But it's always kind of painful, and I usually like just lie a bunch about my life when I'm doing it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm actually a sculptor. And they're like, well, have I seen you do anything? And I'm like, no, I saw a lot like out of town. It's like my girlfriend lives out of town, but for fucking everything.
Have you seen the big spaceship in Vulcan? Yeah, actually.
No.
Not that one. No, the other.
No.
The slightly
Think of a
smaller
spaceship. Is there a spaceship you haven't seen? I probably did. But yeah, it was like forced, uncomfortable conversation, and just like I was laughing out loud nonstop in my head at like, wow, we're really like banging all the traditional topics out of the park here. Got the weather, got fucking what do you do? Yeah, like it was painful. And then she started like, I can't remember how we got on this topic, but she said, like, how you've been passing the time during the pandemic. And I was like, oh, I watch a lot of movies, play a lot of video games. And she's like, oh, are you a PC gamer? And I'm not, obviously, but in my head, I'm like,
eyes
oh.
immediately narrow. Oh.
Yeah. But it's like, maybe.
Who told you?
Are we approaching common ground, milady? And I'm like, no, I got an Xbox and a PlayStation. She's like, oh, I really want one of the new Xboxes. I was like, okay, this is gonna be something that we can really converse about. And then like just as we were starting, she's like, okay, you're done. And I'm like, okay, see you never.
Maybe lead with the Xbox thing next time, madam. Read the room a little bit.
Like,
Your tip could have been so much bigger than it is.
God,
Yeah,
tipping
it
hairdresser.
was,
You don't have to tip your hairdresser. They get
Yes, you do. Hairdresser is like the first person you're supposed to tip.
that is crazy. That is crazy. They get paid like
I always
They pay to be in the hair
$40.
salon.
That is not.
Unless you're going to like
That is not. What kind of
Supercuts or something.
No.
You probably went to Supercuts.
What kind of a fucking place are you going to that Kevin goes to like hair by? I don't even know a famous fucking hair person, but apparently imagine this joke with the most famous hair person in the world and Kevin who is bald. Yeah, you fill in the funnies yourself at home.
Hey, there was a time where I would go to the hair salons.
Yeah, me too. And the ladies work there. I went to that one
No,
by.
they
I went to that one by
were
Georgia.
renting. They rent their seats.
No, they get paid. They get a
Yeah,
salary, a
portion.
job. I barely tipped them shit. Also, my haircuts were like $50 fucking to get my head buzzed and like the sides cleaned up.
Maybe the reason you're bald now is because you didn't tip them.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah,
I never thought about it
they
like that.
poured the no more hair growth. They instead of using shampoo,
Motherfuckers.
they just put.
Hey, we got a
Rogaine or-
non-tipper. Bring the acid.
I'll see you next time. I think you're totally within your right also at a hair salon or the guys go to salons or whatever, getting your hair done to just like no conversation. You know, it's like the bath in Red Dead. You're totally within your rights to just close your eyes and just be like, you just hold the finger out.
I think
I think
if you're gonna pull the no conversation card, you need to tip up front. Just be like, here's your
Like,
$10.
Pretend like you're deaf or
Don't
something.
don't talk to me.
I can't hear you. Anything to get out of conversation with a human.
I'll straight up tell Uber drivers that I'm like, oh, I got this thing I got to listen to before we get there, so I'm not gonna be real chatty. But then I tip them. So
Yeah. Usually
I tip
drunk in an
I
Uber
tip
too.
hairdressers because like the difference between a good haircut and a haircut that is good enough for you not to be able to get your money back, but is not much better than that, is there's miles, and people gotta see that hair. Also, they'll massage the fuck out of your head if you're a good tipper.
Yeah,
and
you could just
let
go
me
get
tell
a head
you,
massage though.
no,
Yeah, but
that's
then you
way
have to
more
pay
expensive.
for a head massage.
Yeah, it's true. You're not wrong. Head massages.
Those 5 minutes when I'm getting my head massage are the only 5 minutes of my life that I'm happy. The more I think about it.
Yeah, love it. Bliss. That's like my favorite thing in the world. I used to love getting haircuts because the clippers, the bzzz, it's like a little massage right there.
Like, I just want to bring a $5 bill every time I go, and as soon as she stops massaging my head, just hold up the
Just be
$5.
like, hold it up. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah,
plug
that's
the
my.
meter again.
That's
I'm
my
almost
kink.
there.
Yeah.
Some people are into like gross pimple popping videos and all that shit. I'm into head massages and the receiving thereof.
Love it.
Love it.
But yeah, it really made me realize I got to maybe spend some time in front of the mirror
You wear a hat.
talking to myself.
Good thing you got that expensive haircut. Good thing you tipped so well for that expensive haircut. It looks great.
I tip well for the head massage. The haircut is not that expensive.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, how's everybody been? Anybody got any exciting news? I'm clear the floor here. I know Kevin has big announcement. You're not gonna believe it.
My sidewalk is gonna be put in next week.
No fucking shit.
I know.
You've been waiting for it for years. That's right.
It's a moment that I've been waiting for at least the last 3 weeks
It
or
wasn't-
4 weeks. I don't know how long it's been.
sidewalk wasn't that bad. I never once walked on that sidewalk and was like, "Damn, this thing's got to get fixed."
You must have never actually looked down when you were walking over it.
It was cracked and broken, but like, that's what happens.
I mean, it was good enough that I
Off-center,
didn't
you could
have to look down.
We're getting rid of that one lip that people trip over when they're drunk all the time.
I have eaten shit on that lip, and I've seen a lot of people eat shit on that lip. It's gonna be a shame to lose it. It's gonna be a damn shame. A lot of memories associated with that little, the one like out when you open the screen door and there's like a 2-inch little step up. That's gone or will be gone.
It will be gone, yeah.
Damn. In the
Yeah.
dark.
You're rapidly
in the winter,
approaching.
that thing is super dangerous.
You're rapidly approaching the apex of your life here, Kevin.
I
Like when the
agree,
sidewalk
yes.
is fixed, what more is there?
Nothing.
The castle.
Head massages.
Repaint the castle. You should do something with that castle out front. You should like, what's something you like that has castles? What is the thing you are the most into that has castles? Game of Thrones or The Witcher. You should pick something and you should make that castle into one of those castles.
That seems like it would be a lot of effort.
Yeah, but a true fan a weeb, as we call them in Japanese, would have no problem.
That is true.
You'd need to be able to do it. Like, the will is one thing, but
Yeah.
the skill.
Kaer Morhen is a destroyed castle. Just make it Kaer Morhen from The Witcher. It's all blowed up.
So we just saying rename it?
No, break it.
Because
You
that
can
I'm
just
sure
break
Kevin
it.
could handle.
It's a lot easier to deconstruct a castle than it is to construct a castle.
I'm not a builder, but I'm not sure if that's true.
No, what'd you spec?
I think the building would be easier than the destruction. Because I think...
Okay, let's see how fast I can break the castle on your front yard and how fast you can build the castle on your front yard. And we'll see who finishes first.
I'm more talking about, like, buildings in, like, real life. I think it's a lot easier to build a skyscraper
You're
than it
insane.
is to figure out how to do the demolition to destroy a skyscraper.
I do not. I mean, in like a city block, maybe in a very specific situation, I might agree with that. But there are so many. Don't you like see buildings in even just in our city in Edmonton and be like, how is that physically possible? That doesn't seem. That thing should tip over. Like architecture is kind of amazing. See like old ass bridges where it's like one stone somehow is holding up 2,000 tons and. Maybe I just see the beauty in the world. Maybe that's what Blue Lotus is showing
I
me.
always said that about you.
Is that there's real beauty in everything, Kevin. Oh, how about video games? You guys play any of them? There's some real beauty in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I can tell you.
Some real fucking beauty.
I know we say this a lot on, well, not a lot, but we've said this before on this podcast, and we'll say it again in the future. Video games will never look better than they do right now. Ratchet and Clank is like jaw-droppingly. There is no facet of that game that is not the best-looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
2021 best water of the year.
Yes,
It's fucking good-looking water.
Holy fucking shit!
Unreal
Is the
looking
water
water.
amazing?
That looks like a real fucking Lombax.
Yeah, but is it okay? Real question: is a Lombax a real animal?
I don't think so.
What is a
But
Lombax?
you don't know. I don't know either.
No.
Ratchet is a Lombax. His race is he is a Lombax. But he's never found another one, which makes me think they're not real.
They are not real.
But it's like an echidna. If you told me there's no such thing as an echidna, like Knuckles, I'd be like, yeah, okay, it's a made up.
Or a hedgehog.
It's like Pikachu. Yeah, it's a made up creature. Sure. It is. It looks so good. Like I can't. Everyone says this. It's like a Pixar movie come to life. It is. It is the fuzziest. Everything has physics on it. The scarf is like moving in real time. Every single hair seems to blow in the wind. It is crazy. It's fucking crazy.
What are you playing on?
I'm like the graphics mode.
What graphics mode? Yeah.
Performance ray tracing. Performance RT
Yes.
is the one I'm on.
Me too.
Yeah, it's you have a few choices. You can do, I think it's ray tracing on, scene density up at 30, or you can turn off everything and run it at like 500 frames a second if you want, or you can find the middle ground, which seems to try to target 60, has some ray tracing, and it had a bug the first week where if you were in that performance RT mode, I guess I don't know what it did. Something erased your save, or like
Yeah. So I played in performance RT through that first week, and thankfully nothing happened. But yeah, I don't know how common the bug was, but I was alarmed when I saw that pop up, and I'm like, oh shit, I wonder if my save's just gone now.
It was something to do with like 120 hertz was messing it up. It was only a very like specific subset of people, I guess, but that sucked. I'm glad I think it was patched by the time I started playing. I've never played a Ratchet and Clank game. I've played Sunset Overdrive, which apparently is almost the same kind in a lot of ways. It's like a real kind of. It's like I don't mean this to be derogatory. It's like an ABC video game. It's a by the numbers video game, polished to the nth degree. It's like Super Mario 64. What if it was made today?
Yeah, like it feels like a PlayStation 2 game that looks like a PlayStation 5 game. Like
1000%.
There's like some of the stuff like riding the beetle and riding the dragon and shit like that, where you're just like, this is some PS2 ass shit
Yeah,
fucking flying my little dragon around shooting fireballs.
There's a lot of like weird, almost little games within the game, like riding the dragon and the speedles, and you're like, there's a tower defense mode, and just like those old, like Banjo-Kazooie, like every different level is kind of a different thing, where it's like, oh, this time you need to defend a point, and this time you're like racing on these rails, like Sonic almost.
Mm-hmm. And it felt like you were always like good on them for not doing this because it sucks. But it always felt like you were one corner away from maybe having something chase you and running towards the camera.
Yes.
Like that is the feel that they were going for.
All that said, it is like super fun. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is like just a very basic third-person shooter where the guns all have like 1 or 2 fire modes, and they have an effect on them. They're not super complicated, but most of them look pretty good. And the dodge is real fast, and you get iframes on it, so you're invincible, and you have a traversal mode that you can use to move real fast. I ended up turning the difficulty up a little bit, which was a good choice. I find it pretty good on one down from the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I can't point to any one thing that it does super well, other than it does everything really well. Like, it plays incredibly, it looks incredible. The acting is tremendous. The writing is like not aimed at me, but is still hitting 1,000%. Where like I'm probably a little cynical and jaded for a lot of these jokes. And all that said, I'm still laughing my ass off at this game. It is
very like these guys are these Lombaxes, Lombi are the salt of the earth. Like every time anything is going wrong, they're just like, "Hey, chin up, big guy," and I'm just like. All right. I'll bring my chin up, Ratchet.
It's a breath of fresh air. Everything is positive, even at its most dire. Like the big overarching plot, the villain like just wants to be popular. Like it's not. No one's gonna be like murdered and brutally tortured. It's just everything is super positive, but the stakes are high nonetheless. The fate of the universe is on the line. But
multiple universes.
That's right. It's tremendous. It feels like the first kind of next gen thing to play on the PS5.
It was. I very much like. It was the first time I walked away from a game. I've finished it, and it was the first time I walked away from a game being like, I'm fucking happy I have this PlayStation 5. I could not have played this anywhere else.
Yeah, it is so good. I am having every single time I pick it up and play it, I walk away amazed.
And it's super, super simple. Like they once you walk near a collectible, it'll just forever put it on your map. And then if you click it on your map, it just puts an exact waypoint on your map. It's like, oh, it's up here. You couldn't see it because it's 2 feet above you. And I'm like, okay, I'll go get that. And then halfway through the game, you get a map that basically then just points out all the ones that you didn't walk near. So you can go do all that. I won't get too much into spoilers, but one of the collectibles is the golden bolts.
Yep.
There's usually like 3, maybe 4 per world. And as you collect them, you unlock kind of cosmetic
the
things.
golden spatulas of this game.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlock 10, get the bigger bomb bag. Unlock 20, get the bigger wallet or whatever.
But it's like every one gives you something new. Everyone puts a new little slider in the options, not in the options menu, but in the collectibles menu, where it's like you can change your hammer to a sword if you want, or all sorts of stuff like that. And the last few you get, like there's 25 of them, and I think it's 23 and 24 are like game-breaking cheats. So
okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I turned them on. Like at first, I was like, I'll turn them on and it'll break the game, but it'll be fun. And then I'll turn them off and finish it. I just kept them on for the rest of the game, which was not very long at that point. But
I'm in a good spot right now where the combat is hard. I usually die once per boss encounter, but I can get on the second try. Like it is fast and fluid, and every time I die, it's my fault. It's fun. It's super fun. There's so many guns. There, like you have a weapon wheel, which I've already filled up, and I'm unlocking guns still. I think I have like 10 maybe or 9.
Yeah, you can definitely fill up a second weapon wheel. And
like an entire
then I had,
second weapon wheel?
Yeah, I had a third wheel going when I finished the game.
I think it's either 8. I think it's 8.
It's
per,
8 per wheel.
That's
so I think
crazy.
at least 18 or 20. I can't remember how many I ended up with, but
And they're all, like, this is kind of Insomniac DNA, but they're all fairly unique, and they all kind of have a sort of unique particle effect associated with them, very much like Sunset Overdrive.
I will say, and I'll kind of talk around it, because it is a very end game thing. There's a type of collectible that if you collect, as you're collecting them, you notice you're getting blueprints for what looks like a gun. It's the spy bots. I'm saying to Matt because he looks confused. So every time you get a spy bot, you get a little section on the collectibles menu gets filled in on this little blueprint of a gun.
Did not realize that, actually.
Once you get all the blueprints, you can get that gun from the little store lady.
She has a name. It's Ms. Zircon, and she's a Southern Belle.
Yeah, she's a little annoying. She'll just holler at you from real far away on the map.
How dare you? Like
Not my
Mrs.
favorite character.
We didn't get into this, but like Ms. Minutes, I got a thing from Ms. There's something about non-human, robotic, or weird hologram robots / clocks that just that's my
It really does it for you.
Yeah, Ms. Minutes is sexy
Good.
AF.
I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. Anyway, that gun, once you get it, is some of the coolest looking video gaming I've ever seen in my life when you're firing that gun.
Interesting. There's a lot of very good looking stuff up to that point. So
right. Yes. All
that's
those
tall
guns
claim.
have really cool effects, like you were saying. This fucking gun, so it's worth collecting all the spy bots just to fire that gun off 5 times before you beat the game.
There's a really good charge I like on, I don't know the name for it, but like the Mega Man cannon that has like 5 or 6 shots. The Mega Buster, basically the big beam. That thing like charges up and the lightning is all crackling off of it, and it changes when you move. And
It's so good.
Tremendous. Ratchet Clank, Rift Apart. So I have heard the criticism against it is kind of the last game they made. I guess much like this game, you sort of get access to some traversal options, which are pretty fun, and kind of explore an open world. People says pretty samey to the last few games they've made, which if you never played a Ratchet Clank game, it's not a problem. But if you have played them all, maybe just know that going in. But all that said, like the new coat of paint, I think is totally worth the price of admission. It is like stunning, absolutely stunning. That's all I have to say about Ratchet Clank.
That's all I have to say too. Just a
good
reason to own a PlayStation.
A lot of best new characters in there. Potential, I should
Not
say.
that
Nominees.
fucking Southern Belle.
Mort. There's a
Mort's
whole
pretty cool.
race of people who talk like they're from Fargo.
Yeah.
I fix you up, Derry. They're like Canadian without the A.
Yeah, I would have spent the rest of the game on that planet if there was enough to do.
Yes, I want a whole.
I just wanted
Mort
to hang out with
spin-off
them.
game. Mort, the best new character of the year, Mort. It's tremendous. You should play it. I also play a little bit of WoW Classic. Kev, you and I can tag team some Burning Crusade Classic. We in it.
Oh yeah, we are ready to go.
I feel like I've committed. I feel like I'm past the point of no return now. I'm like almost 67, which is more than halfway.
Oh jeez.
Like when I say almost, I mean like 10, under 10 bars, 8 or 9 bars.
More than halfway through the level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit 66 yesterday or the day before.
Cap
started.
Is 70 for
I headed over and started all the Nagrin quests, which is like one of the big quest hub areas.
Yeah, it's a good zone. It's a fast zone. Burning Crusade is so weird. Like, I've realized this last week playing it that the content is totally meaningless. It is 1,000% MMO duh, but it is 1,000% the interactions you're having with other players where, like, for some reason, it is a really positive experience. Maybe because most, or a large percentage of people played this game 14 years ago when it came out. That would by default make you an adult now, unless you were playing when you were 1. And like, there's just a lot of like positive experience when you're looking for groups and things, which doesn't really seem to happen so much in gaming anymore. But the thing you're doing is so fucking boring. You are literally pressing the same, depending on your class, 2 to 5 buttons in order, over and over and over and over for, I'm not exaggerating, I think I'm like 3.5 days played time, which is like 24/7, almost 80 hours. And I'm not
Yeah.
all the way there yet. And all I've been doing is walking up to a mob, and I press this button, and then these 3 buttons in order, and then it dies, and I do that 25 times, and then I go talk to the man who's like, I need you to kill 25 of those. And then I go talk to another man who's like, kill me 10 of these. I'm like, all right, you got it, buddy. And I just keep doing
And
that.
every once in a while, you'll find someone who will say, hey, you know those things you killed 25 times already?
Yeah.
Go kill 25 more for me.
Yeah, it is so hard still for me to reconcile why we are spending and have spent literal thousands of hours on World of Warcraft. All that said, I'm having a lovely time, and I'm playing the auction house, and that's great. The gear is this something I've kind of realized? The gear is so plain in base World of Warcraft, and even like that end game, that I really like the aesthetic. I think World of Warcraft never looks better than it does right now, where the end game gear in Burning Crusade, it looks cool. You can spot it across a city full of people. You're like, damn, that dude with the big glowing shoulders looks fucking dope. If you launch up retail, like, everybody is covered in flames and has angel wings, and like everybody has everything going on now. Back in the day, you were lucky to get like a light glow. People would pay out the ass for a useless, albeit cool, glow on their weapon.
Yeah, and even like especially Classic compared to retail, it's like we don't have transmutations in Classic. So if you see someone with that piece of gear
Is that?
that you know comes from a big raid or something, you know that person actually earned that piece of gear, rather than, you know, going back to it 50 levels over leveled and just saying like, oh, this is a cool look for me, I'm just gonna go get this, farm out this piece of gear and get it.
It's a journey of suffering, I've realized. It's something, we're all in this terrible thing, basically, but we're all in it together, and that gives a like sense of community, and that makes you want to engage with it. The only reason I play is because I worry that I'll fall behind Kevin. Why? There's no like follow up to what does that mean if I fall behind Kevin? Literally nothing. But that is,
You're already ahead of me.
I know, but I need to hit 70 because Kevin's gonna hit 70.
I got some of this from Destiny, and I actually kind of hated it, where it was like, fuck, if I'm not playing Destiny, fucking other people's is grinding.
Yeah, they're getting
I'm gonna get left behind.
What, I won't be able to do dungeons with them.
Yeah,
They'll
and
be like-
it's kind of the same thing where it's like, I mean, I can just go in there and fucking catch up whenever I want, but there's like this, oh, at any moment, people might decide we want to do this specific thing that you are just on the other side of being able to do, but we're there because we was up at 6 a.m. when you was sleeping like a bitch. We was up playing.
I mean,
There's no sleep in World of Warcraft.
It's so wild to go back. You would remember much better, I think, 14 years ago than I would, Kev. I was 15 and 16, which is fucking crazy to think that not only were we doing this podcast, I don't think you were on it yet, but it wouldn't be too many
I don't
years
think so.
after. Wouldn't be very long after that. Not only were we doing this podcast, but like that was literally half my life, exactly half my life ago, which it's so crazy, man.
Other than breaks, you've been playing World of Warcraft for half your life.
I know. I hate not. There's new stuff to play. I haven't even played all of it. I've played the same old thing. It's so crazy. Remembering even just like the nostalgia is obviously a huge part of it, but like the people we used to be 14 years ago, and just it's crazy, man. We went. That must be longer than 14 years. Hang on, because isn't college like almost 10 years ago now? 2011.
Mm-hmm.
When did
We started college in
launch?
11.
I think it was.
It is
I think
now
we looked at this. I think it was 07. Was
Yeah.
Burning Crusade?
I think that's correct. Okay, it is 07. That makes sense. What is time? A construct.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very much. Once I think once we hit 70, once we get maybe, a couple raid clears in us, like I don't know how much staying power it has. Like,
Bro,
once
we
the
gotta get ready
nostalgia
for Rat.
factor, once the nostalgic factor has run out, like I didn't do any of the like post-launch raids, like the Sunwell Citadel or whatever the hell it's called, and all those other ones.
Tempest Keep.
Tempest Keep.
Serpentine Caverns comes first. I think they're opening at the same time this time, but back in my day, Serpentine Caverns came first, and then Tempest Keep, and that was it.
And then there was
Zulamon.
There was the Sunwell one, and
That's Tempest Keep is Sunwell. That's that one.
No, that's two different ones. Black Temple is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Black Temple is in next. Black Temple is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
Serpent Shrine
and Black Temple. I want to say yes.
I think it is. Serpent
Maybe
Shrine,
you're
Black
both
Temple,
wrong.
Tempest Keep. Next expansion. Maybe. I don't know.
No, I think there's more, because there's the one raid in
The panda
Zulamon.
one. Let's not forget about the pandas.
Zulamon comes at the beginning of Sunwell. It's part of Sunwell Plateau. Oh, Battle for Hyjal.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Eye?
Battle for
What
Hyjal
the
is in there too.
Eye? I haven't even heard of some of these. The fuck is the Eye?
That one's in that top right
Level
area.
30 contested raid. What does that even mean?
That's probably a retail thing.
Tempest Keep. Oh, it's part of Tempest Keep. Where did most noble? Yes. Okay. It's the end of Tempest Keep. I see. They open it in sections.
Okay.
Yeah. Wild. Absolutely wild. It's fun to be back playing. Most of the people I talk to played all those years ago, and we just kind of reminisce about the old days and like lament the things we don't have yet, like looking for group and being able to respec your talents, and then complain about the things that we will one day come to hate, like looking for group and being able to respec your talents.
Yeah, being able to respec and having the two tech trees or two skill trees is like the first thing that I said to people when this one came out. Is like, is this the one with two talent trees? Because I sure hope so.
It's and to put it into context for anyone who's never played World of Warcraft, you kind of pick a role, and in Classic anyways, you pick either tank, healer, or damage. And in Classic, if you are a tank or a healer, you basically can't do stuff by yourself. You can, but it's really slow because you're built to tank or heal. And they made changing that really expensive, increasingly expensive actually. So you kind of have to.
Sorry, changing from one class to the other.
Changing from you're not changing class, you're changing spec within a class.
Yeah.
But changing from tank to healer.
Right.
So I'm currently spec'd for damage because I'm leveling right now and killing mobs and NPCs and stuff. Once I get closer to max level, then I'm going to respec into healing so that I can do raids and dungeons as a healer.
And that's going to cost you money.
That's going to cost me a ton of money. Because
Fuck.
not only do they charge you to reset your talent tree so that you can put the points into the healer abilities, but you also have to retrain all of your abilities that are associated with being that
A healer.
healer. Yes. So yes, I'm anticipating that it will be probably around 100 to 150 gold for the full respec, and then level up all of your talents and
I'm
skills.
glad you guys are having fun.
That's not the right word. We're
I'm glad you guys are keeping busy.
yeah, we keeping
Yeah,
busy
you know,
is a good way. I was gonna say wasting time, but
Doing
that's a weird
chores. Doing your chores.
No.
way. I think that's more or less all I have to say in the ongoing psychoanalysis that is me playing Classic. In a way, it's like the best form of therapy I maybe could have ever asked for. Re-examine the last 14 years.
Have you started your WoW Classic diary yet, where you wake up in the morning and you catalog all your WoW Classic thoughts of the previous evening and what you're
Kind
planning
of.
on achieving for the day? And
For me, it's like I totally do, but it's all the auction house stuff where like, well, 5 a.m. better get up and make sure my auctions are posted. It's not as I'm hoping this is a good weekend because the auction house was just like you could tell there were a lot of new players who had maybe never played World of Warcraft getting in, where the auction house was like you couldn't swing a dead cat without making money. It was crazy. Buy something from a vendor, sell it on the auction house, which is literally 5 steps away from that vendor for 10 times the price. Like it was people who clearly did not know how to play making mistakes, and you could leverage that to make a lot of money. That seems to have quieted down a bit, so I'm hoping this weekend is a big one. But like, prices seem relatively normal, which is not great.
Which is
for
not
me.
good if you're
Yeah.
if you're trying to rip people off and make a whole bunch of money doing it.
I'm not ripping. In my defense, the person I'm ripping off is the person who sells the item for too cheap. I buy items that are up for way, way too cheap. I look at something like, damn, that sword is worth way more than 1 gold. Somebody is going to easily pay 5, 10 for that. And I buy it, and then I post it back up for what I think it is worth, and a percentage of the time it sells, and that's how I make gold.
Exactly. It's like going to a garage sale and finding a Superman #1 mint condition,
Exactly.
and they want a quarter for it because it was their grandson's, and little Timmy doesn't come around and read it anymore, so you might as well have it.
I'm not exactly. I'm not ripping anybody off. That's like, I'm not even. That is that is a little like scammy / snake oil salesman, but it's like a 1 out of 10. That is like on the farthest. That's like barely even registers. You wouldn't even bat an eye at that.
Is it worse to scam the seller than the next buyer?
No, if someone is selling something and you think that thing is worth more, maybe you're wrong. Like, who's to say, right? If I'm like, I'll buy that Superman #1. I bet I could get at least 1,000 quarters for that. Maybe I'm
Probably.
wrong, And that is what I do on the. I don't want to seem like I'm like whispering people like, "Yo, send me 10 gold and get 20 back." I'm not scamming people. I'm just buying things off the auction house.
Maybe did yourself a disservice by introing the thing, being like, "There's a lot of fucking idiots coming in right now, and I'm really fucking
not
licking my
making as
chops
much
here."
money
It's
because
like, I wish there were more idiots. Like, hopefully the weekend idiots show up and they start
Exactly.
spending their money poorly.
Yes. Hopefully the people who have more money than they do time log on the weekends. They're like, I will pay any price for these items because I need them today.
Yes.
That's where I shine. Because my things are all they're not never the lowest price. I need somebody desperate and like right place, right time. All that said,
I always sell my stuff for the lowest price because I just want to flip it. I just want the money.
that said, I turned 40 gold into. It's hard to get an estimate because most of it's in items and things, but I'm probably close to 2,000. Probably somewhere between like 1,750 and 2,000 gold. Which
Shit,
for
you
3
better
weeks
give
is
me
not
my
bad.
money back, otherwise the VIG's gonna kick in.
I got it. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got. But you said by the time you hit 70, so I have like a week easy. There are times too where Kevin lent me a sum of gold to buy a mount to basically get through the game a little quicker and speed up some of that downtime. And I've had that sum on my character like a bunch of times, but Kevin's like, I just need it back by the time I hit 60 or 70 max level, which is good. And I'm gonna give you. I don't know what the percent is, but I'll give you back 60. You give me 550, I'll give you back 600, which is pretty good.
I wasn't even expecting anything back.
Yeah, it was going to be a nice surprise. I know. It was
Oh,
gonna be but
I am surprised.
Here we are on the podcast, humble. I've had that some like multiple times, and like, man, Kevin's probably like counting the days till I think Kevin will hit 60. Can I get this in and out of the auction house? Probably. So.
All right, I'm gonna add another caveat to your payback.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the fact.
All right.
You're not allowed to buy your flying mount until you pay me back.
Yeah. No. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Turns out you can get flying at like level 68, I think. 68 or 69.
Oh. Okay. I'll get that money to you ASAP. I'll not reinvest it. But all that said, again, the money I do have is in good shit now. It's not in like it's not the scam buys anymore. It's
You're not
things,
in greens anymore.
No.
You're in blues.
I'm in the things people need. I'm in Marks that Kill Jade and Sargeras. I'm in Firewing and Sunfury Signets. I'm in Arcane Tomes. I'm in Felorants. I got what you need. You need anything in Burning Crusade Classic? You call me. As they say in Gadgetzan, time is money, friend.
This guy talks too fast to be trusted.
That is actually the truth of it all.
Should have been a goblin. More thoughts, I'm sure, on Burning Crusade Classic. We in it. I have more retail to play, like things I haven't done in retail, but what if I just did the same things I did 14 years ago that I have even said on this podcast are boring as fuck?
Well, I mean, you had fun one time, so
Yeah.
probably have fun a second time.
I want a PvP this time. I hated
I do too.
PvP as a young man, and now as an adult, I realize that Warlocks are so broken and just... There's like one class in the game. It's kind of rock, paper, scissors, except I beat everybody except for one of 9. So as long as I don't face that 1 of 9, I'm going to absolutely crush. And,
We got our 2v2 team.
yeah, Warlock, Shadow Priest. No,
Warlock, not Shadow
Holy
Priest.
Priest? Disc Priest?
Disc Priest.
God damn, that was my team back in the day. Me and Byron was a priest. He and I were always like, just shit, but drain tank, drain life. What a gong
Drain
show.
mana, you drain mana, all mana burn.
Byron, drain mana does nothing. Yeah, you're right. That was our strategy for a long time. Was what if we ran them out of mana? Oh man,
You're playing a long con.
It's genius.
The super long con. What is Storybook Brawl, Kevin?
Storybook Brawl is I heard about this game from one of the Magic streamers that I watch, and apparently it is a auto battler made and designed by a couple old Magic pros, and it is got a storybook skin to it. So it's got like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. It's got like King Arthur and his court. Fables and stuff, yeah. There's a few noticeable differences between this and the Hearthstone Battlegrounds, which is the only other one I play. Hearthstone Battlegrounds, you have to choose when you level up. You have to spend money to level up.
Yep.
This game,
very common feature in a lot of auto battles.
yeah, this one every 3 XP you get a level. You get 1 XP every round.
Okay, so everybody's leveling up on the same time.
Everybody's leveling up at the same time. There's a few ways to get extra XP, but there's no real... other than these few extra ways to get XP, there's no other ways to level up faster, at least that I've found.
Do you have any idea, like, what we're talking about? Does it make sense to say, like, it's an auto battler?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the same as the Dota auto chess thing, right?
Yes. Yes.
Similar, yes.
It's
yes.
I know
kinda
the
drafting
genre
cards.
concepts, but I certainly don't like them in any way.
I understand what it is, and I wish it were to die.
Contrary to Brando, I love the idea, but can't find a game I want to play, so started playing a bunch of Team Fight Tactics this week.
Oh, nice. You should check this one out. They do a whole bunch of things different. There's 2 rows as opposed to 1 row. You still have 7 units.
Front and back.
There's a front row and a back row. Front row of 4, and then the back row of 3. Your front row starts in the top left, and then as kind of like Battlegrounds, they attack in order. Your back row can't get attacked until your front row is dead, unless the opposing creature has flying, in which case it attacks the back row. When you get a golden unit, which is getting triples, you, instead of getting a new minion, you get a treasure card of the same level of the minion that you leveled up. So if you level up a level 2 minion, you'll get a level 2 treasure. You have 3 slots for your treasures, and if you get a treasure and you already have your 3 slots, you can either discard the treasure or destroy one of your old treasures to replace it. Okay. Treasures, your archetype comes from 2 places. It comes from the units you buy, and it comes from the treasures that you get. You can build certain archetypes based on the treasures you get. Like, one treasure will say every time you summon a unit during the battle, all your units will get a bonus or something like that. So if you get that treasure, it'll lead you towards a certain archetype. Or there's also units that you get that will benefit an archetype. I got my first win today, a little bit before the show, by playing the dwarf archetype. And one of the cards in dwarves is, at the start of a fight, all your dwarves get +2/+2 for each dwarf you have. And if you have 7 dwarves, all your stuff gets +14/+14.
Oh, there's no, like, additional... If you have all 7 dwarves, they get +14/+14, and...
Like a story bonus?
Yeah, song.
Well, there's a keyword for questing. So some units will have a quest on them. Lancelot's quest is to deal a bunch of damage and grow himself really big, and if he gets big enough, his quest will trigger. And triggering a quest is just like getting a triple for that unit. So if you get a level 6 with a quest and you trigger the quest, you'll get your treasure, just as if you were to golden it. There's also spells. So
Lancelot's a bitch.
He kind of didn't he? There's like a whole like Lancelot side story, isn't there? After King Arthur, doesn't Lancelot go on and like do a bunch of
Lance?
Yeah, he loses.
I think all of them kind of do. They all just have their little thing.
Is Lancelot and Merlin the same thing?
Yeah.
The same world?
Yes, they're in the same world. Yes.
Well, Lancelot was a knight of the round. Merlin was a wizard, obviously.
Right, but they could have coffee.
That's right. Yeah, they're all
Yes.
looking for the Grail.
They probably did have coffee at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not coffee. Maybe ambrosia.
Coffee definitely. I think coffee existed way back when.
Yeah, it was probably shit
It
though.
was like a Turkish drink, I think.
yeah,
not,
way too strong for me.
All the grounds were in it probably all
Yeah,
the time. You just have to
100%.
pick them out of your teeth all the time.
100%.
So were they looking for the same Grail that Indiana Jones was looking for?
Yeah, the Holy Grail. Well, Indiana Jones was looking for the Grail they were looking for.
Sure.
Yeah,
Indiana
they
Jones
made it
is
famous.
real.
That's right.
They both found it, so
Yeah. Didn't Sean Connery drink from it or something? Am I thinking of the wrong movie?
yeah, I think yeah,
I'm
that
not thinking
checks
of the
out.
wrong movie.
was he the dude who drank from the wrong one and then died?
No, he's Indy's
No.
dad.
Is he?
Yeah. Right? Sean
Yep,
I'm pretty
yep.
sure. Yeah.
For sure.
He's I don't know if
And
he's
then he gets
immortal
shot.
or
Man,
he
aren't
just
they like the
survives
same
the-
age?
Harrison Ford. and
Sean Connery is a
Harrison
tremendously
Ford and
old
Sean
man.
Connery, aren't they like
Well, I guess
basically
Harrison
the
Ford
same
is.
age?
I feel like Sean Connery's in his 90s. Harrison's
In his 80s.
I can't look it up or my computer's about to crash here.
We'll just assume that they're the same age.
Yeah, definitely. 27.
But so yeah, there's another type of card that you can buy, which is a spell. You can cast one spell per turn. Certain spells will have the cantrip effect, where you can cast another spell if you cast that specific spell. But the spells are all weird, crazy things. Some of the early level spells will be most of the units cost 2 gold. And then it scales up from there. So a level 2 unit will cost 2 gold. A level 3 unit will cost 3 up to level 6. One of the early spells will be it'll cost 2 to play the spell, and you'll get a random unit from the board, and the unit will get +1/+1. So rather than spending your 2 gold buying a specific unit, you buy the spell, you get a more powerful unit. Some of the higher level spells are absolutely bonkers. One of them will give every unit you have +1/+1 permanently. There's much like in Hearthstone Battlegrounds, there's 2 types of buff. You can get temporary buffs that last for 1 round, and then you can get permanent buffs which last forever. Matt has a question.
I have a question. Is damage permanent, or does it reset on the round? Like when your unit takes damage, if I have a 2/4 and it takes 2, does it need 2 more damage to die next turn, or does it reset to a 2/4 like Magic?
It resets because there's your shop phase and there's your battle phase, like most auto battlers. So all your units will heal up during the shop phase. Higher level spells, there's one that just gives you a new hero class. So at the beginning of the game, just like in Battlegrounds, you'll pick your hero that you want to be. The one I played today was Merlin. Every spell that I play as Merlin, you get 2 of your units get a random +1/+1. It spreads it out. You get wherever they go, they go. You can spend 5 gold and this one specific spell, and you can just get a new hero.
Sure.
Halfway through the game, you can be like, you know what, this strategy's not working for me. I'm just going to get a new hero.
Randomly, though? I get a random new hero?
It gives you the same choice from the beginning. So at the beginning, there's 4 heroes you have to choose from. There's 2 that you'll always have to choose between one of the 2. And then the other 2 are random between the entire pool, and only if you have paid for to unlock that character will you actually be able to pick it.
I see.
Was Robin Hood one of these folks?
Yes. Robin Hood is in the game.
Ood.
Good?
Hood.
Ood.
Hood.
Ood.
Ood. Yeah,
Robin
you know
Hood.
Robin Hood. I also see
Right.
My favorite
He's the clone.
vampire from Transylvania, Sad Dracula. I really identify with the Sad Dracula card.
And yeah, some of the other spells are just have a unit and pick a unit, and it's now golden. And yeah, it's just one more added little feature to kind of set it apart from other auto battlers. 'Cause
How? Sorry to cut you off.
I was just gonna say, like, with the treasures and with the spells, Just kind of gives it a little something extra, I feel.
Does it feel like it adds more randomness to it compared to
absolutely.
say Hearthstone? Because Hearthstone is
There's
already so much RNG.
It feels like this game is very, very high rolly. For auto battlers, that just means that if you have the best RNG on these, like the treasure rolls when you get your goldens, or certain spells, I guess. There's one spell that when I was playing my dwarf deck, I didn't find one. But what the spell does is it gives you a random dwarf from any dwarf in the pool up to your level, and then it gives all your dwarves +1/+1. So
Okay.
it's just free creature, and everything gets stronger. And it costs the same as the other spell that gives all your stuff +1/+1.
I want Grumpy.
You might call that objectively better.
Grumpy was actually pretty good. He was a cornerstone in my deck today.
Yeah.
Bossy was also pretty good.
Grumpy finished scrap.
Yeah, Grumpy will fuck you up.
I
Oh wait, maybe it wasn't Grumpy. Maybe there is no Grumpy. Maybe it was Greedy.
Is there a card where they all stack up and wear a trench coat?
Surprisingly, yes.
Excellent.
I don't remember what it's
found
called.
my auto battler.
I don't remember what it's called, but it's it's 3 dudes standing on top of each other. It's like kids in a trench coat, essentially. And when the unit dies, you get a random level 6 unit that replaces it.
Great.
Which is, I mean, it's pretty good. It's really RNG and turns out not that good if you miss. Much like all RNG things.
Yeah, what is?
it's good value
Yeah.
though.
Potentially good value.
Take it
I
advantage of.
can't figure out for the life of me how damage is dealt in this game.
That seems important.
Good.
It would be important, yes. And this is probably just an interface problem because it is still in beta or whatever it is, early access, whatever you want to call it. But it's very, very hard to see why things are happening during a fight, especially since I'm new to the game and I don't know exactly what all these units do. There will be times where the enemy will just get 5 attacks in a row and I have no idea why, and all of a sudden my board's dead and they've wiped me out so fast that I can't even mouse over the cards to try and figure out what happened.
It's maybe one of the problems with all of these, like just such a huge variance of
Yeah,
things that can
exactly.
happen.
Like you say, like all of those different things, the spells, the treasures, and the units and the heroes, I guess, they're all super unique because it adds so much variance to the game, like you say. But at the same time, when you're just learning it, there's so much variance. Essentially, what I've been doing is I got 4 games in a row where I got second every game. And every game, I just tried to mimic the first place deck in the next round, just to be like, okay, well, this worked for this person. What does trying to build a deck like this look like?
Smart.
There's also the last kind of new little feature that is different than most other auto battlers. I guess not really. Actually, no. Every auto battler has this. What am I talking about? You have your hand, where you can just store things in it. This one only has 4 slots though, so you have a slot of 4 reserve units that you can keep in the back, and then you have your 7 units in the front. But the difference with this one is you can freely switch between your reserve and things that are already on the board. So if you have something on the board and you want to take it back into your hand, there's no penalty for that.
Can you like sell from your hand?
Yeah, you can sell from your hand, you can sell from the board, you can do anything like that.
That seems interesting. I'm gonna check this out. I like auto battlers.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I can't also for the life of me figure out how to buy new heroes. I
Like
click
for
on the
money?
store. Well, I figure if I buy them for money, it'll work, but I can't figure out how to buy them with the free currency. I don't. Maybe that's a feature that hasn't been initiated yet, or something like that. But I keep getting this currency at the end of every match that I play. Don't know what it's for. Can't figure out how to spend it.
Storybook Brawl. Storybook Brawl.
Storybook Brawl, yeah. Free on Steam.
Any other games anybody has to talk about here? Part 1.
I guess I started a new game on the old Thursday stream. I'm playing Dragon Warrior 3.
No, I'm pretty sure that's Goku in that picture. I'm pretty sure that is Son Goku.
1987's Dragon Warrior 3.
The art for Dragon Warrior 3 is a same artist as
The Dragon Ball
Toriyama,
dude
maybe?
is he did all. I think he did all four of the original Nintendo Dragon Warrior games.
They all got the spiky hair. They all got the Saiyan hair.
But like the art is like, no, that's Goku. That is like young Goku from Dragon Ball. 1000%. Put him on a cloud. Thursdays, Dragon Warrior
Thursdays,
3.
Dragon Warrior 3. Everybody uses this game will change your life. Well, this is the game that made me into a gamer. So,
oh shit,
it's old.
The big one.
Watching it, I was like, damn, this is an old game.
Yeah, it's from, like I say, it's from 19. I think it came out in 87 or 89. Let me check here.
Very loud keyboard.
I wasn't even born yet. They had video games before I was born.
1988, February 10th, 1988.
The third one.
Yeah, I was 6.
Wow. I wouldn't be around for another 3 years.
Madness.
Indeed. Let's take a quick break here, and we'll come back, do some news. See you on the other side of this musical break. Let's talk about some news, gentlemen. Top story this week. Cyberpunk 2077 is finally out, PlayStation users. You can finally buy this hot product coming to the Sony store now. Has come to the Sony store.
All right, well, now that Sony says the game is officially fixed and everything is perfect, now is the time to buy.
That's right.
As soon as we're done the podcast, I'm gonna go buy Cyberpunk on the PlayStation Store.
Might say it's never worked better.
I'm gonna buy it on PS4. Is that a good idea?
Well, there's a notice you'll see here that Sony has posted on their store that says, "Important notice," all caps. Users continue to experience performance issues with this game. Purchase for use on PS4 systems is not recommended.
Ooh,
well, good thing you asked.
I know, right? If I would have just bought it because I saw that Sony put it back on their store, I would have been disappointed.
It's so fucked that it is back up, but with this huge disclaimer of like, don't buy it! Don't buy it! Wow.
Hey, you can buy that at a vendor. Don't buy it from us.
They removed, they say most of the cars and pedestrians. To me, it seemed like all the cars and pedestrians on PS4, and that apparently it manages to almost hit 30. But like it is now painfully obvious this was a game that was never meant to run on these systems. So, whoever plays that version of the game, enjoy your Cyberpunk experience.
The Xbox Series X version is out now, right?
No.
It's still not.
No. The next gen version is not out. We are still playing the PS4 Pro and what was the faster one called? The last
it's Xbox
One? Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Xbox Series X. That's so stupid.
Yeah. It's fine. It kind of, like, until this very moment, I thought, yeah, we just comfortably moved past that, and Series X is fine. But then we tried to go back, and we couldn't.
We're still on that version of the game. The story I read even was like, if you're thinking about playing it, wait for the next gen version. I don't know. Cyberpunk sounds fucked. Cyberpunk sounds totally fucked. I think we talked about this earlier, because I remember Brandon saying he would murder for a new Dead Space. Good news.
Always.
Jeff Grubb. Jeff the Gab Grubber. Jeff the Gabber Grubb.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that up.
The Getter.
Old loose lips. Jeffrey Grubb says that EA Motive, the team that brought us most recently... Oh, I can see the logo. Squadrons, I think. Yep. They are apparently working, or have been working on something, a revival project of sorts, apparently. And when asked, what game is it, Jeffrey? He said, we're going to see it if we're not dead first. Which, I mean, EA Motive... Visceral got merged into Motive. The team that made Dead Space is probably working on another Dead Space. Or the Dead Space movie, which apparently is a thing that... I hope that's not it. I hope that's not like, we brought EA Motive back to consult on the movie. Hopefully it's a game, because Dead Space 3 was not good. Dead Space 1 and 2 were really, really good, and then Dead Space 3 was...
I don't remember hating Dead Space 3, but I don't remember anything else about it either.
It was Max and I played like the first. It was co-op. I remember you do the whole thing co-op. Max and I played the first like I don't know 4 or 5 levels. It's bad. It's like it seems like it's written by a totally different team. You just show up and
Kick ass and leave.
I can't even really like articulate. I didn't play enough to put into words what I don't like about it, and I don't remember.
I absolutely love the first game.
Yeah, first game is like first game was a like because it was like what is it? Oh, Dead Space. I wonder what that is. It was this crazy, scary, like interesting gameplay to cut the limbs off these guys, and
they had that kind of that new like health interface. Like you had no UI, which I think
it was all,
is
like,
not nearly
in-world.
as novel now, but at the time was like, oh shit, all the information is in the game, not on my screen.
And then 2 had the needle in the eye, which I don't remember anything
Yeah,
other
that's
than
fucked.
that. So that game, in my memory, is super scary. And yeah, 3, I can't remember what it was. I know I played it when it came out. I think I gameflied it when it came out. I could not articulate what I don't like about it, but Max and I played the first few levels, and I do not want to go back. I'm good. More action than horror, someone in chat says. Yeah, kind of. Let's see here. Ubisoft, my favorite and yours, have removed some Far Cry 5 maps. There's some like beat-for-beat remakes of the multiplayer maps from GoldenEye in the Far Cry 5 map editor. Remember they shipped that map editor? You can do all this really cool stuff. And this YouTuber, Crawleywood, has, I guess, spent the last 3 years making basically perfect recreations of the GoldenEye multiplayer maps if you want to play them in Far Cry, which I think is fucking rad.
Yep,
And,
might as well. Gotta do something.
Ubisoft has sent them a cease and desist and taken them down. They gave a official legalese response that does not claim that they got an infringement notice, but claims that they might. So they, anyways, took it down. But it is worth noting that MGM, who owns the rights to GoldenEye, the game rights, I tried to look up who owns them, and no one seems to know, even the people who've been making GoldenEye games. And MGM has been very litigious in the past. They have ordered all sorts of stop orders and sued all sorts of GoldenEye remakes and things. So it could be MGM, but I would love another reason to shit on Ubisoft.
It
Just
feels
kidding.
like this is
I don't
something
need
that that they could have fought if they wanted to.
Yeah, totally. It's
like it's not something that people pay for. It's something that was user created, so they can say, well, they used our tools to create this map. Like, what are we supposed to do?
And like, what do you own the rights on? The exact placement of tables and screens in this configuration? Like, would this not fall under like parody law? Is this not?
This would absolutely be fair use.
10,000%. This is like a song parody. Even more so, this is like a full blown cover. This is remade from the ground up in this thing. It like there's no.
And the gameplay is
so
nothing
weird.
like. It's not like this is a different, similar playing first person shooter.
No, it'd
or
be
something
like
where you're like, you could effectively play GoldenEye now. This is
you're just playing the maps in Far Cry.
right.
It'd be like if someone made like Peach's Castle in the Halo Forge and then Nintendo sued them and was like, you can't put the Peach's Castle, you can't play Halo in here.
Well, they absolutely would do that.
Yeah, maybe. It's so weird.
You picked the company.
This is a step beyond Nintendo. This is like Nintendo could go and do this now and they haven't. I'm trying to think of like I can't even really think of like something similar. Man, I couldn't even know. It'd be like if Nintendo went through like Trackmania and sued everything that had a loop or something because they're like, we own the loop, or like we own road with no sides on it. That's
Pretty sure
Rainbow
Sega
Road.
owns
That's,
the loop.
Sega owns the loop for
whatever.
sure.
But very strange. Took them 1,400 hours to make, and to have them just ripped away with like no reasoning is so fucking shitty. Remember, you don't actually own the games you play. Ugh. A little bit of let's wash that out of our mouth. A little bit of Battlefield 2042. This isn't really news. I don't know. I think this is all out there. But do you guys know the new game is gonna be 128 players per server? That's a lot.
No,
That is a lot. I
so.
honestly don't know if I like how shooters are just getting more and more and more players and bigger and bigger and bigger maps. Like that's one of the main reasons why I didn't like that one that you guys play.
Yeah.
Jesus and the Devil or
5?
whatever it's called.
Yeah, Jesus and the Devil. You know.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
play that. That's right. The 100 Judases drop onto the island. 13 pieces of silver.
Hell hath
100
Jesus.
golden fiddles.
That's
Yeah.
love it.
But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I didn't like that game is because the maps are just so
Are
unbelievably
you talking about
huge.
Apex? You're talking
No,
about a battle royale, right?
Hell on wheels.
Hell let loose.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, Hell on Wheels, the Western show.
Yeah, Jesus versus the Devil. But yeah,
it's
like-
especially difficult because I feel like I personally, at the place I am at in my life, am getting higher when we're playing these video games.
Word.
And getting higher, and then they're just adding more people, and I never know what the fuck's going on. Even playing fucking Star Wars Battlefront, I'm just like, this is too much. If there's 3 guys on the screen with me, I'm just putting the controller down at this point.
It's gonna be 64 on 64, which is crazy. I feel like they're on 64 players now on most of the old Battlefields, and obviously they're gonna build this game for this, but like those battles seem frantic and crazy and like super populated with 64. The idea of doubling that number is just so crazy. Like, is the map going to be twice as big?
Yeah, that's because you're right. I think you have to double or some, like come close to doubling the map because
I
I
would
don't
say you'd
think
have to more than double the map.
You would think so. I don't know.
yeah, because I don't want more chaos. I am fine with the same chaos spread over a bigger map, but
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
like I said, I don't know what's happening half the time anyway.
They're going to use bots to keep it filled out, I guess, which is a thing that more and more shooters have started doing. Like, I think it's PUBG Mobile maybe uses bots, but doesn't tell you they're bots, which is kind of fun. I don't know. Makes you either think you're really good. Was that guy really bad or a bot? You never know.
It's especially when they like get the jump on you and start shooting you, and then you turn around and kill them, and you're like, I'm so fucking rad.
Yeah.
And then it pops up, and it's like Tom Berry.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
You have been killed by bot number 2.
No.
Well,
There is a Witcher con next week. Anybody stoked for Witcher con?
As far as the only thing I know about WitcherCon is that there's not going to be any Witcher game being shown.
Do we know that for
which-
sure?
That's what I've heard.
Oh,
Which
take this story
immediately
out the
makes me
fucking-
less excited for WitcherCon.
Never
is
mind.
there going to be show me Gwent 2?
That's what I my notes. I'm like, I wonder if there'll be a spin-off game. But if you've heard there's nothing going to be announced, then
Well, I guess I've heard that they are not going to be showing any new Witcher game, but you could maybe make the
DLC.
argument that Gwent is not a Witcher game. It is its own thing.
what about another DLC? I totally thought they might do another or announce a big DLC for Witcher 3. Or even,
Also,
even
what the fuck
standalone.
does like where I heard this from? What the fuck do they know? So
Was it Jeff Grubb? He
could
seems
have
to
been
know.
loose lips grub.
July 9th, I guess is when the Witcher Con is. Season 2 of the show is kind of the big thing they bill. I like the show a lot, even though that first season is not without its issue.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that one before this one came out because that was almost 2 years ago that came out.
Yeah.
And I was incredibly confused upon first watching of that show. They're doing some non-linear storytelling that I was unaware was non-linear until like episode 5, and I'm like, oh,
Rewatching
Oh.
it, there is like the subtlest of hints. Rewatching it, there is literally one like in the background line of dialogue where they're like, oh, 10 years from now, like they set the time, but it is so fucking subtle and so slight that even the second time through, I'm like, is that how you're supposed to know?
right. You have to hear any line that what's the city called?
Sintra.
Yeah, Sintra. You have any time they will just be casually throwing out lines about what's going down in Sintra.
What, is Sintra on fire? What is the state of Sintra?
Right.
Is how we
It's
place
like, oh,
our
they're-
time zone.
Yeah, they're still fucking 80 leagues from Sintra, and I'm like, okay, so that's a long way off. And then the next episode I'm watching, they're like, Sintra's burning, and I'm like, oh, okay.
20 years ago when Sintra fell. It's Yeah, that
But I
first
loved
show, first show has some issues, which even the showrunners have acknowledged. That the main antagonist, or one of them anyways, armor looks like a scrotum. Looks like a wrinkly ball sack. I hate it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool.
I don't.
I think ball sack armor's cool.
I don't like the ball sack armor at all. I mean, if you're talking armor for the scrotum, yes. If you're talking armor that looks like a scrotum, no thank you.
I think that the armor that looks like a scrotum also protects your scrotum, but the area that protects your scrotum is the only part that doesn't look like scrotum.
A cup.
My mind is blown.
Yeah, so who knows? There's going to be an anime too, which I like anime. I'll watch that. My last story that I have for us. I am so out of touch with today's youth that I legitimately don't even know how to say this performer's name. I'm going to guess it's...
Ninja.
Yeah.
Bebe Rexha?
Is it Bebe Rexha? That's what I would guess.
I think it's Bebe.
Bebe? Or I don't know if it's Bebe or Bebe or...
Bebe
yeah.
Rexha? I don't know.
Anyways, they will be performing at a music festival. Oh, aren't you? We're all vaccinated. Music festivals back on. Kevin, your favorite game. You loved it so much you bought
Hell
it
yes.
twice. The Sims 4 is where this
I'm
music
excited.
festival is taking place.
I can go watch this. I'm gonna download the what's the EA client thing called now? Origin?
Origin doesn't exist, I don't think, anymore.
So maybe I don't even own The Sims anymore.
Yeah, you still own the games. I don't know what they did, but they're getting rid of Origin. Not only are they performing in The Sims 4, Kevin, they're performing in Simlish, which I'm like 99% sure this year the Sims developers are like, yeah, it's gibberish. It's not a language. It doesn't map over. It's just gibberish.
Did people think it did?
Yeah, totally.
I'm sure there was times where people were probably trying to
I thought it did for a long time.
figure out
Oh,
translate Simlish to
Yeah.
English.
It's like in World of Warcraft, the two factions can't speak, but they still like translate across. Like, oh, that guy said "kek" in Orcish. That means "lol."
I think I just always
English
like
speak.
I recognize how difficult it would be to create a totally immersive language, and I just think I never in a million years thought the people who made The Sims would do that.
I always sort of thought it was like, this is really stupid. I always sort of thought that they had. It was like an emergent system, kind of. They had like programmed in The Sims had kind of developed
Pig
their
Latin.
own language almost. Yeah, sort of.
Like every word is based on a word. They're
Exactly,
like just doing,
but it's
yeah.
just like a gibberish
Like the
filter
B's are
over
turning
it,
to O's, and
and they're like, that's close enough. That's close enough. But there totally seemed to be a logic to Simlish that I need to look this up. I'm pretty sure we had a big Simlish story within the last year. 2020 Simlish gibberish 2021. The Sims 2 developer insists Simlish is definitely gibberish. April the 5th, 2021. It's a video from News Chain on YouTube. I'm not going to watch it. Here we go. PC Gamer has the story. Sims 2 developer says Simlish is gibberish. Goes on to explain why Sims don't have threesomes. So there you go.
fucking bury the lead.
Yeah, I don't want to know why they don't. I wish I didn't know that they don't have threesomes.
Yeah.
Do they have foursomes? Is it just like it's like 13? 3 is out. 4, 5.
I think you
4
could like
plus,
push two
fine.
beds together and have two of them. I don't think they'll like swap though. I don't think they could do like swinger like key parties and shit.
No man.
I'd be fucking playing if they did. You can play strip poker in one of them. I remember I had like a room that was just 20 strip poker tables, and I was like, I'm gonna host a tournament.
Ladies, the strip poker tournaments.
Then you realize it takes you like 15 hours to actually invite everyone to your tournament, and then half of them don't show up, and then the
It's
ones
like
that do
herding
show up
cats. Like it's like you're just trying to get people. Like you'll get like 2 of them on the tables, and then be like, "Oh, fucking Fred's on fire in the kitchen,
door
and
out so these idiots
Thelma's
couldn't
throwing
leave the
up in the
room."
bathroom."
Why are you using my shower? That doesn't make... Get out of my shower.
Yeah, it's fun. I actually really, really like The Sims, but
So
I
do
hate
I.
the work that I like. You kind of want to put in some work
Yeah.
to kind of make it your own little world, and I always hated that part. And I think that's the part you're supposed to like. But boy, do I just love fucking having a general goal and then having everything just go wrong. And yeah, like you said, like this, like death, literal, the incarnate of death is in my hot tub, and what the fuck is happening? Paul's dead, and death is in the hot tub.
We have a lot of really good titles for books coming out of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Paul's dead and death is in the hot tub is a good name for something.
Yeah.
That's all the news I have. That's all the news you need to know. That's all the news of the week. 2 weeks, I guess, because we missed last week. Podcast at talkingreckless.com is an email address where you can drop these over on the Discord like these fine folks did. Rob wrote in and says, what are games that looked on paper like a sure thing for you but didn't pan out? Not bad games, just ones you thought, I should like this. Why don't I like this more?
Huh.
Shadowrun. Kevin, you should like Shadowrun more.
Yeah, I remember, because I do have it as like Shadowrun Legacy was the first one or whatever it was called.
Shadowrun Returns, I think.
Returns? Hold on, let me pull up my Steam library here. I might have hidden it because, yeah, Shadowrun Returns.
You hid it so you could never accidentally realize you own that game again.
I have hidden a bunch of games where I've been like, okay, I just don't want to even see this anymore. It's just so offensive. But yeah, I think actually I can tell you how much I've played it. Hold on. I have played 6.4 hours, so I did put some time in.
Yeah, that's a fair shake.
But yeah, I didn't like how any of the actual combat worked in that game. There was no strategy to the combat. It was basically the enemies just run at you, you shoot them dead, and then you move on. There was no having to use cover. There was no having to do any like high level strategy of like luring them somewhere and like hitting them with bombs or something. It's just, yeah, the enemies run at you, you shoot them, they die. Move on to the next encounter.
That wasn't my experience with Shadowrun Returns, but
I think I played it.
Shaman.
I think I played it immediately after doing my hardcore Iron Man XCOM playthrough. So I think I might have been spoiled on tactics games like that at that time. So maybe it's one of those ones where I could go back to it and see it in a new light. But yeah, at the time I just had played a better tactics game and didn't want to sit through one that wasn't as good.
What's a game that I should like more but don't?
Kirby for me has always been a franchise that I'm like, why the fuck have I never finished nor really enjoyed a Kirby game in my life? And Kirby's my boy.
Yeah.
It's a platformer.
Kirby's dope.
Yeah, Kirby's rad as hell. But every time I play a Kirby game, I get a couple levels in, and I'm just like, I don't know. That's floating's kind of cute. That's okay.
Dreamland's kind of fun. Like those big eyes at the end.
The one where your ball is good too.
Oh, the Game Boy one where you're the Tilt and Tumble? Kirby's Tilt and Tumble? That's a rad game. I have like an oddly specific answer, which is you remember the game Overlord for the like Xbox, PS3? It was kind of like a god game, sort of. You were like the big bad guy and commanded. You were the overlord. You commanded like your henchmen to go out and do things. You were like the Sauron figure. Is that ringing any bells?
Yeah. You played one of them on stream, probably. Overlord 2.
Played what's the game with Jack Black that's almost exactly the same? Brutal Legend. I played Brutal Legend, which is kind of similar. I don't think I've played Overlord on stream.
You might not have played much of it, but you've definitely played it.
Okay, it's
one of those games where you design the dungeon and you.
See, it's not that you're thinking of like Dungeon Keeper or War for the Overworld.
Yeah.
This is you are. It's like a third-person action game. The dungeon is already built. You are the big hero, the evil hero they summon. You are not designing the dungeon, but you are still kind of commanding minions. It's like a bad RTS. But I really like games where you play the antagonist, where it's just like, yeah, you're the bad guy. Just embrace it. Like, what was that like? That not finished RPG. Oh,
I know which one you're thinking of.
It's called like Ruined, or it has like a one-word name. It's from the Path of Exile, folks. Kairos, I remember. I bet if I just search Kairos, the Overlord is Nope, that's not it. Tyranny. It's Tyranny is the name of the game. I really like Tyranny, where you just play. There's like no bones about it. You're like, yeah, you're this evil inquisitor. Do whatever you want. And I really love God games like Black and White and Populous and all that, but I don't know. I think Overlord kind of sucks. I don't know if I should like it more than I do, but seems like
I got another one. Oh fuck! I lost it.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
I mean, that's actually not a bad one, but I think that's a bad game. I think that's why I don't like it.
It's a bad game.
Oh fuck me! What did I had a good one. I had one that made way more sense than Kirby.
Get your thinking cap on. I got one more too.
Do it. You go, and then I'll
No Man's Sky. That game,
yes.
like on paper, like seems like it's something that I would enjoy. It's got base building like Ark. It's got exploration like Subnautica. It's got. I don't really know what else
things.
Because all of the things that have been added have been like every time I try to go back to it, I just can't get over how bad it was at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I just look at the things that they add and I'm just like, I don't even care. I don't care about any of this.
Kevin's moved past it.
Yeah.
Mine is Man of Medan. Mine was Man of Medan. The Dark Pictures anthology. When that was coming out, I was like, ticks all the boxes. It is from the people who did Until Dawn. It's going to be a narrative-driven, choice-driven. I'm going to be able to play it with my friends. This is just fucking can't wait. And then I even played it with my friends and just kind of came out of there being like, oh, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I did enjoy Man of Medan, but after really hating the one after, Little Hope, like, really, it is a waste of time. It is bad. So bad. I don't know if that's just you. I think they might have lost the magic somewhere along the way. Where Man of Medan was all right, but after playing Little Hope, I don't know how much hope I have for the future of that series. Which sucks, because like you say, like it's ticking all the boxes. It has the curator. It has that weird, like, it seems to know too much narrator guy, like Peter Stormare.
Yep.
Oh, remember Peter Stormare?
That was a great fucking
They
game.
shouldn't have even tried to redo that. How can you ever follow that performance? Fuck, I should play that game again. Podcast, talkingrouts.com is an email address. You can write in your thoughts here. Let us know what you think. Go check out the Patreon over at patreon.com/talkingmarkspodcast. You can find the longer version of this show. Tron, we talked about Loki. You can have some illicit substance talk next week. Talk a little Blue Lotus. You know what I'm saying? Blue Lotus massage parlor.
Can't say that.
you tune into Tron, and you get everything now for $5. The lowest tier of patron gets all the content as well. The anime show, Tron, everything. Literally hundreds of podcasts on there over the past few years. So go check that stuff out, and it supports the show. Appreciate it very much. Warren is playing Warcraft. I don't know about every Wednesday, but some Wednesdays. If you want to come see Warren play Warcraft 2, Warren Craft.
No.
On Wednesdays,
to play it.
Come and join us for that. And otherwise, leave us a review, a rating. Hopefully, you think this is a 5-star podcast. I think it is, and would love for you to leave us a rating or review wherever you find your podcast. That stuff really helps us get discovered by new folks. Really helps. Kevin Byer, thank you very much.
Matt Eads,
Go get
thank you.
Go get your vaccine so we can play Rock Band.
All right.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Brandon Lynch, thank you as always.
Yes, happy to be here.
Staple of the show. And you at home, thanks so much for watching or listening. Remember, if you listen, you can always go watch the video of this over on YouTube or vice versa, find it on iTunes, Spotify, etc., etc., etc. Thanks very much. I was going to do the music live this week and then forgot to do it at the beginning, so, I mean, it's probably a moot point now, but, yeah.
1, 2.
What do you think,
it's
Kevin?
all the steam. We just lost all the steam on that ending.
I know. It's ruined. Should we...
Just cut it early. Just edit
Let's
it out.
go back
All
to
right.
You gotta
Deaths
edit
in the
that
Hot
out, and you gotta
Tub.
edit all of this out.
God damn. There was so much. There was so much, and it wasn't all you, because there were times where I mute your mic, and I could still hear it, and I was like, looking around the room for the phantom fucking Brando tapping his foot. I don't know. Thanks for listening. We'll see you here next week on the next episode of the Talking Reckless podcast. See you then.